Today we're taking a look at history. This day in history, 45 years ago, the 401k was created. Let's take a look at how the 401k was started, created, and implemented and adopted over the course of time and where it is today. Thank you so much for checking the channel out today. My name is Agabus, and this is your financial education channel. If you'd like to see more, make sure to hit the like button below and subscribe to see more things that we put out here on the channel. So today here we're at cnbc.com for a history of what the 401k is all about. As many people know, the original proponents of the 401k plan, which currently is the dominant source for retirement savings in the U.S., are rueful about the revolution they unintentionally began. Many of the early backers of the 401k say it wasn't designed to be a primary retirement tool and acknowledge they used forecasts that were too optimistic to sell the plan in its early days. According to the Wall Street Journal, others say the proliferation of the 401k plans has exposed workers to big drops in the stock market and high fees from Wall Street money managers. Even the father of the 401k, Ted Bennett, tells the Journal with some regret that he helped open the door for Wall Street to make even more money than they were already making. And other experts agree. On its blog, the Economic Policy Institute recently declared the 401k is a poor substitute for the defined benefit pension plans that many workers primarily relied on, which provided a fixed payout for employees at retirement, and which have now become increasingly rare. Only 13% of the private sector workers have a traditional pension compared with 38% back in 1979. As true as that statement is, I wonder though if pension plans were the dominant force in Americans' retirement savings, how unlikely those would be to be able to keep up with the cost of living. So some pros and cons in the two different options. And here's how the 401k got started. It got started when Congress passed the Revenue Act of 1978, including a provision, Section 401k, that gave employees a tax-free way to defer compensation from bonuses or stock options. The law went into effect on January 1st, 1980. Ted Bennett, a benefits consultant at the Johnson Companies, saw the law as an opportunity for employers to create a tax advantage savings account for the employees. He said, "I knew it was going to be big, but I was certainly not anticipating that it would be the primary way that people would accumulate money for retirement 30 years later." Continuing in 1981, the IRS issued new rules that allowed employees to contribute now to the 401k plans through salary deductions, which jump-started the widespread rollout of 401k plans in the early 80s. By 1983, nearly half of all large firms offered or considered offering a 401k plan. Companies liked the option because it was cheaper and more predictable than the fund at a pension. And then there were two bull markets from the 80s and the 90s, which pushed 401k accounts significantly higher. And then, of course, two recessions in the 2000s erased all of those gains and prompted second thoughts for some early 401k champions. By 1990, 401k plans had 384 billion assets in them, with only 19 million active participants. A couple years later, that number increased to 1 trillion with 30 million participants. And then in 2001, it increased the amount that people were able to contribute into those accounts, and it allowed participants over the age of 50 to make catch-up contributions. In 2017, the contribution limit is 18,000, and the max catch-up contribution is 6,000, but that is back in 2017. Those numbers are higher now that we're in 2023. Next, in 2006, the Pension Protection Act made it even more easier for companies to enroll their employees automatically. Some companies even have an automatic increase on the contributions of 1% a year to encourage the savings. And today, 401k plans hold more than $4.8 trillion in assets, and pensions in the private sector are increasingly rare. And again, this article is from 2017. And again, this article is from 2017. 401k plans are kind of the dominant retirement savings for most Americans these days. Other retirement savings, of course, are 403b plans, which are for not-for-profit companies, as well as different types of IRAs. There's traditional IRAs, Roth IRAs, and for small companies, there's simple IRAs and SEP IRAs. Of course, This is not financial advice by any stretch of the imagination. Make sure you speak with a financial advisor about any ideas you have around investing and saving for your future. This is just a friendly reminder that 45 years ago, the 401k started. Thank you so much for checking the channel out today. If you like what you saw, make sure to like button below. Subscribe if you want to see more content that we put out. And drop a comment in the comment section below, letting me know your 2 cents on what information was shared with you today. Thank you so much, as always, for listening to the channel. We'll see you tomorrow.